Hey Seattle, welcome to A Girl on a Mission TV. My name is Denise and I will be your host throughout this program. My goal in creating A Girl on a Mission TV is to highlight artists who live and work here in Seattle, our great city, but might not have access to any local media. For more information on tonight's show or future episodes, please check out my blog at agirlonamissiontv.com. Thanks for tuning in, Seattle. I hope you are inspired. Hi there, welcome to this week's episode of A Girl on a Mission TV. Today we are here with Anne McGrit, so welcome. How are you doing?
Hello, fine.
Good, good.
Thanks for having me.
Good, good. Got some questions for you. What was your high school mascot?
A chief.
A chief, okay.
Yeah.
Chief Seattle?
Chief, like a chief with like the whole headdress and stuff.
Okay.
And they changed that, I guess, in the mid-90s. It wasn't PC.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard.
Right.
But it was a chief.
It was a chief.
In the 80s.
Right. Are you a chocolate or vanilla person?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. On your car, do you have any bumper stickers, or have you had any bumper stickers on your car?
My first car, I used to have the bumper sticker. My other car is a broom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very appropriate. It was an old, black 1970 Cutlass Supreme.
Oh, perfect.
Scary looking.
What is your favorite coffee drink?
Hazelnut latte.
Oh, yum.
That's my favorite.
What's your favorite adult beverage?
Let's see. Bloody Mary.
Okay. Where would you spend your dream vacation?
Oh gosh, the Caribbean.
Fun. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there
okay.
before, and I loved it.
You want to go back?
I wouldn't mind going back.
Mm-hmm. If you could speak another language, what would it be?
Russian.
Yeah. A person dead or alive you'd like to have lunch with?
Frida Kahlo.
That's a good one. Do you have a motto that you live by?
I don't need drugs, I am drugs. That was a Salvador Dali saying that I just think is great.
Oh, great. In your current state of mind, what color would describe you?
Green.
Green? Okay. Green. What is your dream job?
Just doing what I'm doing, painting, and making a living off it. And teaching in art school, maybe having my own art school.
Okay. Do you teach?
Yeah, I am an art teacher right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Great. What is the last thing that you bought?
Oh, photos. I just had a whole bunch of photos printed.
Oh, great. That you took, or?
That I took, yeah. Just from the whole summer, and
oh, right.
just had them printed out, a whole bunch.
Right.
Because a digital camera.
Right.
Just take so many pictures. And
right. And what was the last book that you read?
gosh. Oh, I read Schindler's List.
Oh.
That was the last book I read.
Okay. Did you see the movie?
Yeah, I saw the movie years ago when
Yeah.
it first came out, and then I found the book. I thought, I'm going to read it. It's so good.
I'm sure.
It's really worth
I'm sure
it.
it's great. Okay, so now we'll move a little into the art and what we're doing here today. How'd you get started in painting?
I've always done art since I was little.
Okay.
I'm sure you hear that all the time. But I just, I started really looking at art and painting, and I just thought, and I think Frida Kahlo, and I really saw her work back in the late 80s, early 90s. I was like, wow, a famous woman artist. I never heard of that, because that was kept out of the women artists were not very promoted very much. And I really liked her style, and so I started exploring art more, and I thought it was a good way to express myself, because I was doing a lot of photography, and if it wasn't enough to me, I wanted to put my own stuff into it.
Great. And where did you get your art training? Are you self-taught, or?
I went to Art Institute of Seattle, but my painting I learned mostly at Cornish. I went to Cornish at the Art Institute. So Cornish College of the Arts, and self-taught, basically. I majored in video. Okay. And so I just, the side classes were painting. It's just weird. I don't know how that happened, but so after Cornish, though, I decided now I'm gonna paint. I'm gonna paint my tarot deck, and I just taught myself to paint. I was studying other artists like Odd Nerdrum, really realistic artists, Danish artists and the old time painters, and I just started really studying art and looking at it, and then I just meeting other artists. I was an artist apprentice to Jeff Hanks for a little bit there. I was helping him and with his paintings, and he did mostly figurative stuff, and then I would do like the backgrounds, and he had some big project, and then I would look at the way he was painting the figures and the faces, and
so what incorporated being an artist assistant? What would you do for him?
I would my job was, he had other assistants that would clean up and do stuff like that, but I didn't do any of that. I actually painted on the paintings, did the background on a lot of stuff, because he didn't like doing backgrounds. He didn't like doing architecture and stuff like that.
Wow.
And he had like this huge commission, all these paintings, and they were going to be hung in this big restaurant in New York.
Right.
And he's like, I really need help to do the backgrounds. And one of them was a huge carousel, and it was like a 1940s theme, and I painted this huge carousel, and and then he did like little touches, but basically he signed it on that.
I was gonna say,
yeah, it was really strange.
You don't get any credit for that.
No.
You kind of waive those rights.
Yeah, just because I was starting out, and it was great to be able to work with a great painter.
Yeah.
And to get that experience to be like in a real painting studio and changing things. And his client knew I was working on the background. I just kind of thought that was a little. It's like, oh, okay. He just accepted it as, that's what artists do.
Right, yeah.
At that time.
It's a lot for people to know that there's artists out there that are signing their name, and
they haven't done it.
It may be more of a collaboration or, commissioned work, and it has to be done at a time frame.
A certain time frame, and it's like impossible. You can't do it.
Right.
So you need to hire somebody to help you to do, the rough work, like the stuff that's not that important, I guess you would say.
And what would be the smallest thing that you painted, and then the largest thing that you've painted?
The largest thing I've painted is 4 feet wide, 6 feet tall.
Okay. And what was that for? Do you remember?
I did a triptych, and it was 3 pieces that size.
Oh, wow.
And that was one of my projects at Cornish. At the end of the year, we had a huge opening, and that was one of my things, was this big triptych. And then when I started my tarot project, the first one I did was the Empress, and I did that on 4 feet tall, 6 feet wide, or 6 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and it was just too big. I thought, I can't do a whole major arcana, which is 22 cards, all that big, so I shrunk it down to 5 feet tall and 3 feet wide, which is still huge.
I was going to say, it's not that much.
But to me, it's like, that's smaller.
Right, like a foot off the top and the sides.
Yeah. And actually, that size fit exactly into the back of my car I had at the time. So I measured the back of my car. It was the biggest I could go.
You get commissioned for your work?
I have had commissions, yeah. I don't promote. Well, I do a little bit on my website. Like, I take commissions, but it's usually through people I know.
Sure.
A portrait or
a
logo. I've done some logos and stuff like that. That's, like drawing, pencil drawing, and then inked in, and for T-shirts. And I did a painted logo for someone else, and now I'm doing a portrait.
Oh, very cool. Talk a little bit about the project that you're doing now. Can you talk about your tour project?
Yeah, I started this right when I graduated from Cornish in 1998, and so it's been 11 years now, and I am just finishing the Major Arcana. The Major Arcana is 22 paintings that are this big, and this one I'm just finishing now, the Hangman, and then I have the Chariot. Then I'm done with the Major Arcana, and I've also done, altogether there's 78 cards in the tarot.
Okay.
And there's smaller cards. There are also smaller paintings that I've done. So I've done a bunch of the minor arcana too.
The minor cards? Okay.
The court cards are about 3 feet high, and then the minor arcana is like 2 feet high, something like that.
Okay.
And I just haven't worked on those little ones in a while. I'm trying to finish the big ones.
Right.
And I have a deck, that I've made.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are the paintings all a deck that you've created, and then you're making the paintings, or are you using a previous deck?
No, I'm creating my own. I've invented my own deck.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I've been researching tarot and each card as I go. Some of them I've just really take an artistic license. Like the hangman looks nothing like the original hangman, but the meaning behind it is definitely conducive to the hangman.
Do you know of any other artists or people that have done something like this?
Yeah, well, I haven't met them actually,
Sure.
but I know there's other painters in Seattle that have created tarot deck. I know the Halloween tarot is created by somebody, and that's actually a published deck.
Oh, okay.
By somebody in Seattle, and she has some paintings hanging at Gargoyle Statuary, which I sell out of my prints there. I have prints on sale there.
Okay.
I make prints, and I also sell a limited edition tarot deck.
Oh.
So, which I should be holding in my hands right now. And I sell it on my website. And people all over the world, are buying it. It's funny. And then as I finish each card, I send people, everybody who's bought a card I keep track of, I send them the newest card, so they keep adding to the deck.
Oh.
So I call it a tarot deck in progress.
Right.
And join me on my journey. It's like a journey. And then people are emailing me going, when's the next card coming? I can't wait.
Right. How long do you think it's going to take you to complete the deck?
Well, since I'm almost done with the Major Arcana, which is the biggest part, I could, I think maybe in 2 years I could finish it. The smaller ones go a lot faster. Sure. The big ones have been really intense, and the Major Arcana itself is very intense. There are archetypes, big archetypes each, and so working on it, it's just, I'll be experiencing the deck in my life, the card in my life.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's bizarre. So experiencing the tarot through the Major Arcana through painting it is just a major life experience. And
wow,
I would say anybody, if you're interested in tarot, try to do your own deck, because it'll make you grow, and your life will go in all these interesting directions.
So you were saying earlier that with your research of creating the deck, that you became a reader yourself.
Yeah.
So do you do that for people?
Yes, I work at Echo Elements. It's a environmental bookstore type of thing in Pike Place Market.
Oh yeah.
And they sell candles and incense, and they've been around for almost 20 years. And you feel like you're really helping people. It's almost in a way it's psychology, the tarot. These events are happening in your life, and this is what I see happening. It's not fortune telling like a lot of people think. It's more like saying, oh, this is where you're going in your life. These are the influences coming in, and this is how to deal with it. And it brings up the good parts, the bad parts, things that you need to look at. And it's been really amazing how it helps people. So it makes me feel good too, like I'm helping.
Right.
And I'm working with tarot, which I love.
Right. Do you know, can you share us some of the history of the tarot deck, how it came about, or what you know of it?
Well, the tarot, the oldest known deck is from the 1400s, from Tarot Marseille, and that's ancient woodcuts, but they think it could be older than that. They're not even sure where the origins are from. It's very interesting, and it kind of pops up all over the world, the tarot, and the elements in the tarot, the 4 elements, earth, air, water. Earth, air, water.
Right.
And it's based on regular playing cards. So, but the Major Arcana has been taken out of the regular playing card deck, except for the Joker. The Joker is like the fool.
Right.
So they say that the tarot was hidden knowledge in a game, or it was knowledge that you could carry with you in symbols, and it had to be hidden because of all the religious persecutions and stuff going on, and the Dark Ages and all that. You had to hide this hidden knowledge, and to this day, there's people that think tarot is evil and they need to burn it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's actually just shows a lifetime, your life, the life of the soul, and all the experiences people go through, and how to help yourself, and how to look. It's how to raise your consciousness. It's just amazing. It's very helpful to us. Nothing evil at all.
Right. Then, do you get people from all walks of life, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I get mostly people that are very serious about. They want to question, because we charge. It's $30 for 15 minutes, and an hour is $100. So there's not going to be people coming in there who are like, I don't believe in tarot. Give me a reading.
Right.
They're not going to pay that.
Give you $100.
They're not going to pay that kind of money.
No.
So it's only people that are serious, that really need help, that come in and want some answers, and it's been great.
Do you find that you get repeat people coming back to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have repeat clients. Definitely.
Cool.
And,
When you started, what was your idea about creating this series? Were you already kind of into the tarot or something?
Yeah, I was into the tarot. I was, and it's over the years people had given me decks as gifts, like out of the blue. It's kind of interesting. My parents had tarot decks too,
interesting.
and in the 70s, and my dad had a deck, and I remember my mom saying, "That's Papa's tarot deck. Don't play with it."
Oh.
And I really wanted to play with it because I could see his pictures. I wasn't allowed to touch it. But it's mine now. My dad gave it to me.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about being an artist living in Seattle?
I think it's great. I mean, I think Seattle is a really creative place, and especially for doing inner work, a lot of inner work. Like the tarot is based on inner work, inner images, and creating your own symbols that you don't see anywhere else. Like, I'm not using old basic symbols from other decks. I'm creating my own symbols that are popping up. I just feel like the energy here is definitely, creates things that never were there before, or it's just very interesting energy here. Art that comes out of here seems to explode all over the world. Every time something happens, it just it's all over. So it's a great place.
Do you feel like you can make well, you kind of are, but make a living as an artist and living in Seattle as opposed to going to New York or LA?
Yeah, I don't feel a pull to go to New York or LA. Like, I have to be in the scene,
Right.
A lot of my friends that I went to Cornish with are in New York, and I think it's great. They're like, yeah, you could come here. There's a place for your art here, I'm like, I love Seattle, and to me, my life is more than living in the city trying to get to my art. I want to be here. I like to be by the ocean. This is where I grew up, the woods.
Right.
We have a baby now, so I want her to raise her in a good, healthy environment, and there's more to life than just my painting.
Right.
And I know that it doesn't matter where I live, that I'll be able to create wherever I'm living. It doesn't matter, but so why not live where you really want to?
Yeah.
I use the Golden Tarot, which is old icon pictures collaged together. Really interesting deck, and it totally works. It's for me, so. And I've also used the Crowley deck a lot. I learned on that one, and the Rider-Waite. Those are two really tried and true decks. I was using the Universal Waite because it's prettier, but then I was thinking, wait a minute, they messed around with the colors here. I don't know if that's a good thing. But Rider-Waite is great because she was the first one to illustrate the minor arcana. Before then, it was only, they only showed like 4 swords or 4 cups. So, but since she did that, everybody who's made a deck after that goes to the Rider-Waite deck and uses her interpretations of the minor arcana and just kind of does her interpretation. So my whole thing is to reinterpret the minor arcana in my own way. I mean, the original meaning, but with a different scene. And I also wanted to do something that I can work on my whole life. Some people think that's weird, but I'm like, I want to work on something I can work on my whole life. Oh, I sketch and I study the thing. I have a sketchbook. I have several sketchbooks. It's full of my studies, and then
you mean the study for each card?
For each card,
yeah.
And I sketch it out. But as you can see, it changes a lot. I'm always open to change. I'm not like, okay, it's gonna be like this.
Right.
Like I couldn't fit everything I wanted to do on there. I ended up changing a lot of things as I'm working on it. So I always have to be open to that. And sometimes making big changes. Like, oh wow, I have to change this whole thing. And then that's one thing I learned, in painting school was that, if there's something in the painting that you're really attached to, it probably means you need to get rid of it. I think it's made an accident. It's like a happy accident, that thing. Like, oh, actually, that looks great. And I have a lot of happy accidents. Like, I'll be painting something, and I'll see something in the paint, and I'm like, wow, that totally solves the puzzle to that. Judgment. Judgment means, it's really intense. It's like, it usually shows an angel blowing in a horn, and then people jumping out of their graves. That is a traditional picture. And the elements, yeah, like people coming out of the graves, but also like this strange figure here, which actually I was camping way out in Oregon somewhere a long time ago, and I was taking pictures, and this weird form came up in it, so I painted that. And then I just paint up, like, so there's things we understand, like dead bodies. People don't understand coming up too, like this weird form. Like, what is that? Maybe there's, like, you know, some people want to call it the fairy realm, or there's other dimensions where there's things coming up also. So, and then this part here is like this figure is waking up this queen with a pomegranate, like the juice from the pomegranate is waking up. And I have a lot of red, looks like blood, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was painting before I named it Tarot the Pomegranate, I was painting like red, like looks like blood, but also I thought it could be like juice, like pomegranate juice. And the whole symbol of the pomegranate is like life, fertility, all that. It's very fascinating. The history of the pomegranate. And then Paul, like when I met Paul, he was telling me about how the pomegranate is related to the Torah. I look at what, you know, colors mean. Like in tarot, in particular, like red, the primary colors,
mm-hmm.
you know, the red, blue, and yellow. Like yellow is like a very spiritual color.
Mm.
Blue, yellow is like it's like knowledge and spiritual. Blue is like inner, like more from the inner self. Red is like more powerful, like coming out, physical. So I try to think of that, but also think of, and white is internal, or just kind of all colors. Also black is like all colors combined, kind of the, black can also be very pure, black and white, the whole black and white thing. So, you know, just what I've learned from painting, like colors that look good together, how it looks in a painting, that kind of thing too. But yeah, I try to really keep in touch with like the symbols of the colors with the tarot and its meanings. And the pomegranate, on average, it takes like, you know, it could take like 8 months to do one of these big paintings. A little smaller painting could take, you know, 2 to 4 months. Like, you know, yeah, like this one, I started the sketches in 2006, and it's now 2009. But I have not been working on it continuously all that time. I put it to the side and this and that. So I would say all together. And then, you know, you have to wait for paint to dry and things like that before you put the next layer on. So like this one, gosh, I could just only say in months. Like the big ones take 4 to 8 months about. I have a lot of paintings on display right now. This one's on display.
Cool.
The cups is on this one. This one. So here's the judgment card.
Let's see. This one. Very cool.
And Hangman, of course, it's not in here yet. But there's a lot of cards. I have a lot of paintings on display right now. This one's on display.
Cool.
The cups is on this one. This one. They got 7 of cups and 5 of cups are on display right now.
Where are they on display?
At Vino Verity on Capitol Hill. It's the first probably female hermit ever made. Actually, I've never seen, well, except for like the Mother Goddess Tarot. There's one that's like only women in the whole deck. That doesn't really count though, because they had an agenda on that one. This one I just ended up being, it was going to be a man. I'd actually photographed a model, a guy, to be the hermit, and it just didn't look right. So I just did myself.